So if you guys enjoy the session, Cherry B streams. So remind me, and I'll have to plug your Twitch in the video description afterwards because
Aw.
I'm a banger. So yeah, okay, this will be fun.
Hmm.
Uh, Drop your best emote in your Twitch chat,
Oh, I
and
got this.
I'll give it my best grade here.
I have a bunch.
All right.
I'll do an animated one.
Oh, okay. That's golden. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll give that one
Hmm.
like an
Hmm.
8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good. All right,
Oh, you're
y'all.
too kind.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let me get your form pulled up here. What we'll do is I'll obviously have this recorded and I'll have it sent to you. And
Uh-huh.
if you have any questions, you can message me directly anytime, and that's about it. So, all right. So, what got you interested in coaching?
Actually, my viewer um wants to be a coach, so they bought it for me as like a way just to have fun. So it
Ah,
was actually a gift from one of my viewers.
oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. So, you're saying that this form is like totally inaccurate, and they're just like
No, no,
lying.
no, 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 no. No, we filled it out like I was playing the game and he was asking me questions in like my Twitch chat. So
Oh,
it
okay,
is
okay.
still accurate.
Got it. Got it.
I guess I
Okay.
should have said that. It is
Okay.
accurate.
Good. Oh, it's Ri Ryoko. Oh, I know who that
Yeah.
is. I know who that is. I know. I actually met Ri at DreamHack this past weekend.
They
So
told me that they
yeah,
they were
yeah,
like, "You'll never guess."
yeah, yeah. Perfect, 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 perfect. That's awesome. Okay, sounds good. So that should be fun. Let's get this here. So what do you hope you get out of the session? You say to increase my knowledge about the game and forward my rank journey. Okay,
Hmm.
elaborate.
So I was pretty far into diamond. I got this horrendous loss streak, so now I'm stuck in plat again. But I was a diamond 5 player, and I just
Yep,
noticed that I just wasn't progressing as much as I used to. Like I went through plat pretty fast, not
yep,
anymore. I'm
yep.
stuck now.
I got you. Yeah.
I just
Okay.
want to get to either top diamond or masters would be kind of nice.
Sure, sure. How long you been playing Overwatch? Like all of
Um,
Overwatch?
I started like really playing like support at the start of Overwatch 2, but I played Overwatch since like the last 2 months of Overwatch 1. Like it's the
Okay.
end of its life.
How'd you find out about it, or what got you into it?
Well, my friends told me to buy it at the tail end and didn't tell me it was ending.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we played for like a week. So I found out about it from my friends. I guess they wanted to give it a send off.
Sure.
So we
Sure.
played.
So, what's kept you in the game? What about the game has like allowed you to just enjoy the whole thing as much as you have, and continue to, I guess, progress in the year of our Lord 2024?
Well, at first I didn't really like playing support because I only played Moira, and then I watched my friend play Mercy, and
Yep.
then I worked hard, and now that I know her movement, I play because I think her movement is very satisfying. And
Sure.
it's also rewarding. It's a very rewarding game when you win.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Kiriko, I see on the forum as well, and I'm like looking at your career profile on your stream right now, and it's
Oh,
like it's a small percentage as well. So,
it's
what about
tiny.
Kiriko?
Kiriko, I like kind of know. I could do so much better with her though. And
Okay.
realistically, I need to.
Why? Why do you need to?
Well,
Isn't
I
it
love Mercy. I'm a Mercy only, but
right?
there are some points where I'm asked to swap, and so that's when I swap to Kiri. And it would be better if when I'm asked to swap, I actually know the character a little more.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Do you enjoy swapping? Do you enjoy playing the character when you do?
Mm. Yeah, I enjoy it if like it's actually necessary. This one sometimes people ask me to swap, and like I notice that I'm not impactful. Like my Suzus are impactful, or like my ult isn't impactful. Like there's no like anti on the enemy team. It's not like only for anti, but like I would prefer to play only Mercy. I know it's not realistic though.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. If you prefer to play only Mercy, then I think having like a pocket pick just in case the situation doesn't work is totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that like especially if your goal is like masters, I think it's reasonable to be able to get to only Mercy. It's just going to be about how are you able to adjust in those different situations. And interestingly enough, I think the movement is probably the most important skill that you need to develop to make Mercy function in other situations. Because if you think about like what is Mercy hard versus what comes to mind?
Sorry, I was writing.
No, it's totally fine. When
I was reading
Mercy,
what you were
no, it's totally
saying.
fine. Streamer stuff. No, so like when Mercy struggles, what do you struggle the most versus?
Um,
Individual heroes, comps, maps. What comes to mind?
I guess I struggle with comps, I would say. Like,
Okay.
there are times where I notice that, like, let's say I have a Lucio. I struggled keeping track of more people because I don't pair well with Lucio as Mercy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or like, I don't know, I'm pretty good at dodging dive comps when it comes to like people that dive me. So
That's good.
I'm not too worried about movement if it's probably just an off day if I can't.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah. I
I'm
got you.
not to toot my own horn, but I can get out of it. I can get out of that situation.
Sure. Sure. I got you. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Now I'm seeing here you play around 5 hours a day. Is that all streamed? Does that change day per day? Is that all ranked? And so on.
That is so it's mostly all stream. It's all streamed, I would say. So 5 hours.
Yep.
5 to 4, maybe 3. Sometimes what I do is I do a few like practice rounds and then I go full hog, literally into comp.
Okay.
So
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. And then is that usually around like 3, 4, 5 hours every single day and ranked?
yeah, I would say 3. Maybe
Okay.
3.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Do you take breaks? I know as a streamer that can be hard.
No.
You should. You should.
No.
You should. But you should make it easy, right? Like whenever
I go
encourage,
piss. Does that count? Bathroom breaks?
I mean that yeah, yes, actually technically that does count. Yes, but
I got bathroom breaks.
either you just need to be like jugging like water after water after water, so you got to pee after every game, or you might need to take a couple of walking breaks that are unrelated to having to urinate. I will say though, it's hard as a streamer to do it after every game, and probably not reasonable. But I will say that like maybe like once an hour, right? Make yourself get up, stretch your legs for just a couple of minutes, and make sure that the break is not utilizing the computer, whatever it is. Just to keep like it's good as a streamer too, right? Like just keeps your energy high.
Yeah.
Right? Keeps your energy high. Touch some grass, check the mail, do something, make your bed, or maybe not that far.
I go outside.
Yeah, anything along those lines I think is useful. But okay, so short-term goals, ranking up to Masters. Playtime is definitely good enough to get to Masters here. Long-term goal here, be able to switch to any support that is needed. Now,
I've changed that opinion.
Okay.
It's been a month since I wrote that.
Okay,
I understand that that's really unrealistic to like be good at that many people.
Right. Well, it is, but it's also like, do you want to do that? Because if it's something that you would love to do, like I like playing other supports, then great. We could talk about how you could do that. But if you feel like, oh, it's necessary, it's not. So what is it? Do you feel like you
Mercy only, baby.
Mercy
all the
only?
way.
All right.
I would like to.
All right. I am unsure of what to do in some situations and lack the understanding to solve the situations. Now, what situations come to mind? Comps, maps, heroes, general stuff.
Comps, there are sometimes I know, and this is also just like if we're losing, I tend to like, because I solo queue, so I tend to be like, oh, it's my fault. So there are some situations where like I just don't know what to do and I don't know what to input. Like if we need to swap someone rather than me, or I don't know, like if I'm the problem. Basically, I just don't know, like, if we're losing, what we can change and what I can.
Well, okay, so when we talk about what you can change, it needs to be how do I need to change what I'm doing with the character? Because if you're not willing to change, you shouldn't be expectant of other people to change. And it's not really your call. You don't need to be smart enough to know what's the perfect swap of the perfect situation. Instead, you need to go, okay, what do I need to be doing differently, or what do I need to be doing better to get more value than what I am right now? Right?
Okay.
And so it's about not necessarily adapting your character, but adapting not even really your play style, but just changing like what your priorities are. Right, sure. So like if I'm playing Mercy into Dive, my priority is going to be about keeping myself alive, right? Utilizing my movement, tracking enemy threats. If I'm playing Mercy into, let's say, more of a pokier style composition, it's going to be about pocketing the right DPS at the right time and making sure that I'm really fast on getting that damage boost up as quickly as I possibly can, right? If you're playing Mercy on a map with a lot of high ground, it's going to use that high ground. If you're playing Mercy on a long, long map, it's going to be about finding times to really utilize your Valkyrie when your team is grouped up. It's going to be like just everything's a priority with Mercy, but not all things are going to be equally important all the time. And where you are right now, which is like high plat, it's going to be about what skill do I want to really put emphasis on right now, Not because that's going to help me win the game necessarily, it might, but it's going to allow me to make those skills happen automatically over time.
Okay. So it's like I don't have to really think about it.
Right. Like, how many games do you play as Mercy right now where you're just not tuned in at all? Probably a few, especially as a streamer. That's how it goes.
A lot, yeah. I would say a lot.
But then compare that to that type of a game a year ago or a year and a half ago. And the quality of play is level up dramatically, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why that is because there's been a lot of games where you have been very dialed in and you've built your autopilot. It takes thinking to autopilot better, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So we need to find out what things do you need to think about so that you can improve your autopilot. That's the goal. Make sense?
Things to think about so later I don't have.
That's it. That's it exactly. That's it.
All right.
Study the numbers so you can forget the numbers. That's how it goes. So we'll find out is like what are those things that you need to be thinking about more so that you have to think about less. So let's get into our review here. Any questions?
Nope.
Let's do this. Shoot me a replay code and we'll get into it.
I got this one. I have two.
Great.
I would say this one.
Why this one?
Did really fucking good, but we still lost, and I want to know what I could have done and what to change.
So when you say that I did really good, why? What checks the boxes for you on that metric specifically?
I had a lot of assists. I think I had really great communication. My team tried started fighting with each other, and I was like, guys, let's keep it up. Let's keep the mental. So I think I had good mental. I think I stayed alive really good. I think this first round I didn't die once. That's not doesn't mean anything.
Assists, you were able to keep yourself alive for the most part. Your communication was relatively PMA positive. Okay, perfect. And you still lost. All right.
Still
What makes Mercy unique?
For me, that mosquito movement.
Okay. But why is that useful?
I feel like as a healer, if you're able to stay alive, you're able to keep your team alive.
Okay.
Without being too selfish.
Okay, but aren't there other supports that are also pretty easy to keep themselves alive? Like, look at a character like Lucy. It's really slippery, right? Moira, obviously really hard to kill as well. Heck, even Lifeweaver in a lot of situations can be really hard to kill. So what makes Mercy unique compared to those supports? What do you provide? Because there's lots of supports that can survive.
Two things. Damage boost and resurrection.
Okay, so talk to me about resurrection first, because that's the obvious one. What does resurrection provide? Obvious answer, right?
In a lot of situations, it can bring back a fight that you're about to lose.
Okay.
Granted, you don't rise someone into like a 1v4.
Okay, sure. What about damage boost?
Damage boost, depending on the healer, if you pocket them, or not the healer, the damage, it could like increase their kills, I would say.
Yeah, that's the obvious way of looking at it, right?
Yeah.
It changes breakpoints, right? No, I'm not being condescending here. You're right.
No, I know.
That is the most obvious, right? But the other thing to consider as well is it's like, what does Mercy lack? Let's start with that one, because there's a glaring answer here, right?
I don't have a lot of ability to like heal my whole team at once.
Yep.
And I also lack like big heals. I can't do like big bursts.
But you're missing an even more obvious one. You're right, but there's an even more obvious one. What happens when do you do damage at all?
I got a pistol.
Right. But obviously,
got the Barbie one.
Probably the lowest direct support out of any character in all of Overwatch, even lower than Lifeweaver. Doesn't mean that pistol isn't appropriate at some points in times. It is, but it is not. It is not the easiest thing to do. So that's why damage boost is so important, because it's what allows you to vicariously pressure. Right? Like, I'm living through my DPS. Like, I get to do damage through my DPS because that's what Mercy brings to the table. Is everything of support in Overwatch 2 is about pressure. Pressuring the enemy team. That pressure the sniper that's peeking your team. Pressure the Doomfist. Shoot him out so that he doesn't... Because the idea is that if you don't push back, you get run over. Yeah. So how does Mercy push back? Well, you could either heal people so that they're in a better position to push back, right? Or you allow them to push back stronger. All right, we're talking about like either you're the combat medic or you're administering steroids. Okay, this is one of the things or the other that you're doing. And that's the priority. The question is, the biggest skill, the most important skill Mercy can have, even more important than her movement, is her ability to go, who needs the juice? Okay?
Yeah.
Who needs the steroids? Who's going to benefit the most from damage boost? And the challenge is that's not always super obvious. For example, a bronze mercy might go, I want to pocket my Winston going in because obviously he's doing a lot of damage. And on paper, that seems reasonable. But the problem is like, when a Hanzo climbs up here, is that Hanzo likely to do damage?
Yes.
Despite the distance, right? The obvious answer is pocket people that are going in. But a going in for a Genji Hanzo on a Widow might look very different than a Winston. Because a Widow that's peeking this here is doing that is her version of going in. It just looks different. So for you is you have to kind of gauge the battlefield and go like, who is going to get the absolute most out of this damage boost or this pocket, whether that's heal or damage boost, right? And you kind of have to keep in mind, like, what does going in mean for that character? Like, would I ever pocket a Genji back here? No. Would I ever pocket a Widow back here? Maybe. Would I ever pocket an Ashe back here? Maybe. Right? That's going to be your challenge. Who is actively engaged in combat? And then pocket that person as best as you possibly can. And try to not do so at the expense of your own life, obviously. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look here. So normally you would go into things and maybe the average Mercy reviewer would be like, all right, who do you think you should pocket? Like, who's your pocket priority in your team? Guess what? We're not doing that. That's a flawed line of thinking. That's a flawed line of thinking most of the time, right? Because the answer is, I don't know. I have no idea. Hanzo, maybe. Hanzo's like the easy one, right? But like what if your Ana has a better position? Like what if your Genji has a better position right now? Instead of looking for targets, look for positions. That's what you're pocketing. Like right now, your mistake was pocketing your Winston. Why?
He's not doing anything.
He's not doing anything. And it's also, if he does something, he might be in a position where you're not unable to follow up. So based off of the positions of your team right now, who's in the best position to do something right now? Tricky, isn't it?
Well, I would say Hanzo because he's like.
I would say so
Genji
too.
looks like he's about to go in, but he's not in yet. But Hanzo is in a position where he is.
I would say so too, right? Like it doesn't feel like anybody really has a great position right now, but your Hanzo could hit shots.
Yes.
Nobody else can. So pocket your Hanzo. In addition to that, one of the most important things with Mercy is that your micro has to be perfect. So when you're doing things like this is what I call the ADHD. Okay? The ADHD, right? Why the frick are you on heal beam?
No comment.
It's the toggle. I love watching this because you know how like shoot, everyone has their own tick. I've coached so much Mercy, and everyone does. Sometimes I used to have people that would rapidly tap damage boost. I'd have people that go back and forth, toggle back and forth. I used to have people that would always start healing and then go damage boost. It doesn't matter if the target was full HP. Heal then damage boost. I'd have people do the opposite. I'd have people that would always park on damage boost when the person needed healing. You seem to like a little bit of the toggle. You go back and forth, sometimes unnecessarily. Like right there. Damage boost, and heal damage. You see that? Heal damage boost on the Hanzo. Why? Nobody knows.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard because, you know, like it's extremely micro-intensive decision, but those milliseconds count.
Yeah.
Again here, you see it?
Yes.
Now, there's a reason why this matters, and there's a reason why people mess this up, because I know people are like, oh, how are you messing this up? This is the only thing that you have to think about. Actually, no. Do you remember this game much at all? You said somewhat recent, right?
Yeah. I would say,
do you remember what you're thinking at this exact same moment? I have a guess.
I was scared.
Yes.
Sniper
right.
character.
Help! Right? That's what you're thinking, right? Okay. So the reason why that's important is when you're under this type of pressure, you're going to see these habits become more obvious because you're not thinking about your B management. There's no brain space left. You're thinking about, I don't want to freaking die to this Widowmaker. And so as a result, you're not looking around, you're looking directly at cart. You need to be looking around. And then also, you're not on the right beam because you're not paying attention to your beam. And so what this says is that my autopilot beam tends to be heal. The problem here is not that, oh, you're bad at this game. The problem is that we have just highlighted your autopilot action, and we need to address that.
Yeah.
And what that might mean is that you need to focus on your beam even when you're under danger, which might kill you. But guess what? We're going to get that freaking beam management to be way better in the autopilot. We're going to get you better at multitasking is what we're going to do. Again, here, you see how much healing? Full HP Ana, and you're healing it on. There's a toggle again. You see it? There's a toggle again. You see it? You see it? You got the nervous tick. Your APM maxing. My APM is so high, guys. It's actually unreal, right? Now,
I see it.
We've been beating you over the head with, you suck at this game. Go back. Get out of here. You know, but this is actually really good. What's good about this here?
My positioning or?
Yes, everything. Your target selection, right? Your pocket priority. Why does Genji make the most sense with the information that you have?
Because he looks like he's about to go in, and he also has a high ground right now.
It does. Not only is it good for you safety-wise, but also feel like this guy's going to be involved in combat. And to make this decision requires you to be aware of what's going on around you. And for you to be aware of what's going on around you means that you have to look around. And so while we're tunneled here, you see that? You're just kind of like looking at the floor, like you're depressed. But then you're like, you know what? I'm going to look around. Oh! And then you made the right decision with that information. But you got to give yourself that information, and you got to look around to do that. So this is good. Nice job. Even checking behind you there. What's going on? Okay, how are we doing? How's my auto doing? Love this. Love this. Love this. So good. So good. There's the nervous tick. You see it? It's all right. It's okay. And there it is.
Tallying every time.
And there it is. You had allowed him to get in, full HP, gave him a little bit of damage boost. What I probably would have done is try to follow here and hover for damage boost, just because he is fully engaged. I know you're thinking, oh, my Hanzo needs a little bit of healing. Yeah, but your Hanzo is, I mean, he definitely probably needs help with a tracer, but my first response is to assist this maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more.
And Anna's on cart, so he could, or she could definitely.
Yeah. Ooh, almost you need to super jump that one a little higher. Ah, you're beefing this. You're choking live in 4K. What needed to happen? What needed to happen is you just needed a little bit more GA charge for that one, right? Like just a teeny bit more. Which is a little bit unfortunate. That's all right though. And then I think here the move is probably the slingshot instead of super jump. I think.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're trying to do, but I don't know if you have enough GA charge to do it. So then your priority just needs to be, I need to get to cover, whatever the case may be, right? So then spacebar, right? Assuming you use like the, I think that's a default keybind, I think. Whatever.
Yeah. It is space.
But yeah, good positioning here. No question, no problems here. Good stuff. Any questions so far? We've like unloaded the mother load on you, so I'm hoping you're following me.
I knew I healed a little too much, but this is kind of ridiculous. I've never like really like rewatched something. I usually only rewatch if something crazy happened and I want to see it again.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's just it, right? Like you're not stupid. Like you know this stuff. I haven't taught you too much, right? But what I am doing is I'm bringing to light the things that you probably didn't know that you were doing.
I didn't notice, yeah.
Right, you just didn't notice because there's a lot of stuff going on. And again, I want to emphasize that this stuff happens more when you're under pressure, when you're under duress. So it's not like you're getting lazy with it. There's just things get complicated and you tend to stress just a little bit, which is normal. That Overwatch is an extremely stressful game. Now, again, I really like this pocket. Why?
He's going in.
He's going in, right? He's in a perfect position. And this is where I think Mercy needs a lot of game sense. Maybe not game sense. Let's be specific. Needs a lot of hero knowledge. You know what a good Winston position looks like. That's very important. A bronze Mercy might not know that this is a Winston that's about to really do stuff because a Winston wants to stage from high ground and zap on the rotation. You recognize that. Just like you recognize the Genji staging in high ground as something that you would want to assist, right? Yeah. Heck, you even recognized when I asked you, oh, I should be pocketing Hanzo here because he's in a better angle than everybody else. That takes knowledge of the characters that you're playing with. And that's where Mercy knowledge matters. And so this is by far the most important target. Maybe Genji soon if he dashes in, but I like this. This is good. Not only is it a good position for you, but it's a good position for the person that was going in. The only thing that I want you to be cautious of is you have a tendency here. Watch your tendency, all right? We've talked about your tendency with your beam toggling, right? What tendency do you see here? You see it? Why are you falling back? Obvious answer, right?
Because he's critical.
Because he's critical, or you actually fell back before he was even critical, okay?
Oh.
Why should that be something to be cautious with? Not as a bad play, just be careful.
There's another support there, so I didn't have to.
Sure, but remember, What's happening right now?
Winston and
Winston.
Hanzo.
So does that
are in.
sound familiar? Do you remember this situation with the Genji here? And the Hanzo
But I
here?
kind of just didn't really.
Remember?
Oh yeah, I abandoned him where I was just only healing.
So what's happening is you're very quick to leave people who are engaged to assist people who are disengaged who may need heal support. It's not a bad thing all the time, but it might be a bad thing. Like, for example, right now, you have to make a quick read about whether this Genji is safe or whether this Genji needs desperate help now, or whether the Hanzo is safe or whether the Hanzo needs desperate help now. Because if you make the wrong read, you're going to lose out on kill pressure, value, and maybe even, you might even kill your Winston if you leave him here.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what I want you to do is be aware that, at least so far, my gut instinct is saying that your tendency is to prioritize healing people who are not necessarily in danger at the expense of assisting the dive, but I'm not sure that's always the best case.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be okay to even let people die just to make sure that you get the trades here and then go back and get the res. Not always the case, just something to consider. You can kind of see it again there too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. So scary. Sorry.
This is the reason why this is bad, though, is more than one-dimensional. Because you're thinking, oh, this is bad because I'm going to a Doomfist. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. Well, it's actually more complicated than that. Because remember, res is an opportunity cost. Are you familiar with that term?
Mm-mm.
If you do one thing, you're not doing another thing. Okay? Like right now, you could be, solving world hunger, bringing about world peace, but instead you're getting a VOD review from a moron. Okay? So you have to choose what to do with your time. You are thinking res here. Everybody in the, but you're thinking, even if the Doomfist wasn't here, you should not be resing because
There's a lot of people watching.
well, not just that, because again, your brain is fully dialed into risk for me, but there's a much more important risk than just your life. It's there's a loss of value that you need right now. Your Winston needs damage boost. Your Genji needs pocket. And instead you're saying, you guys are not important. The person that's dead is important. And that is probably the most expensive and most common mercy mistake of them all. It's not actually forcing res in bad situations. No. It's going, I'm going to res at the expense of helping the people that are already alive. Here's a really, really, really deep analogy. You ready for this one? It's like some doctor, right? That obsessively does all these expensive, crazy surgeries and helps all these people get better, right? And but his kids never see him, and his kids grow up without a father. Isn't that sad, right? Isn't that philosophically deep? That's what you're doing right now. You're literally letting your children grow up without a father.
No.
Okay. They need you. They need you.
Sorry.
So I want you to consider fight downtime as it may be a more important factor when it comes to resurrecting than your own life. Not that your own life isn't important, it's just something that you're overemphasizing and missing the fact that your Genji Winston need help right freaking now. And instead you're going to go res somebody. You see that? Because now you can res. Now we're cooked. Now we're cooking, right? Now you can res.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's because you found the downtime when we're like, oh, we're good, we're fine. Now I can res. Because the worst thing in the world, and I see this happen all the time in mid-rank mercies, is they'll get the res and their Genji will die. It's bro, you could have kept your Genji up, then gotten the res. A one for one, right? It's not just a 1-for-1 trait, but not you die. You could have pocketed the guy that was actually doing something, not their body over here. So yeah, you have to. Remember, it's opportunity cost. You're choosing to do one thing instead of another. You're choosing to let somebody die just so that you can get the res, even if that person's not you. Great, Valk. Valk, do you have any questions about Valk usage?
I mean, sometimes I use it and then everyone dies, or sometimes I use it and then it wasn't actually a good one, but then I kind of recognize it wasn't. I guess I'm just too quick to do it sometimes without.
Yeah. What makes it a not good one?
Maybe if I do it to keep someone only 2 people alive, or to to stop a progression that I don't really need to stop.
Sure. How would you use it if you had your way with Valkyrie? What's the perfect Valkyrie?
To win a fight and get that point.
That's it, right? The question is are you going to always be able to get that 3 and 4 man beam? No, obviously. So I would not use subjective metrics like, oh, we won the fight, we lost the fight, I Valked, then they popped Nano Blade. No. Was the fight going on? Was the fight winnable when you popped Valk? If the answer is yes, then it was a good Valk. 99% of the time.
Okay.
There's just, because Valkyrie is so vanilla, right? There just really aren't very many bad times to pop it outside of the fight that's already won or a fight that's already lost. And this fight is not already won and not already lost. It's a 4v5, yeah. It was about a 5v5 when you popped it, but like, let's cap the point here. It's totally reasonable. It's not like a sound barrier or a dragon blade where you kind of need to wait for a specific situation or a specific setup to pop it. You could just use it. And the other problem with Valk is it's hard to know what value you provided. You don't see it like, a dragon blade in the kill feed, right? Or sound barrier countering their graviton surge or whatever. It's all the little things, all your invulnerability essentially, the little bit of extra healing, the chain beam here and there, right? So try to be as objective about what you're looking for in a Valkyrie, and then don't worry too much about the result. This has been a total mess. I think you played this one reasonably well. Now remember.
Abandoning it.
Remember, right, it's not a bad res because it felt like you guys would be safe here. But remember, you got to be careful because look at what happens the second you start to res. Right, he almost gets a res. Now the question is, could you have kept him up and then gotten the res? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And so I don't want you to overanalyze the situation, but here's what I'd like you to get in the habit of. Take 1 second to look at the battlefield and be like, is there anybody that is fighting right now or desperately needs help? If the answer is I've got a second, go for it. Go for it. It is impossible to make a perfect decision with that, but I think you can make okay decisions with that. Where do you need to be?
I actually don't know.
Who's doing something?
It looks like the person behind my staff little thing. That's
you got it. It's the Hanzo. Why the frick are we damage boosting my Winston?
I have a problem to stay with tanks sometimes.
No, why do you think that is?
Because they're big. So I'm like, there's that guy.
Yeah, exactly. They're big. They're in your face, right? You might even get like some tickety-ticketies, right? The problem is that how valuable is that tickety-tickety? Hanzo's not going to give you tickety-tickety. Hanzo, if he's really good, is going to give you a tick, 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 and that's if he's really good. But the problem is those ticks really matter. That's the difference between this guy getting a 1-shot or a 2-shot or forcing, a lamp, forcing a roll, a Bastion turret, a fade, a Doom block, all that kind of stuff. He needs your pocket right now. And the reason why is because even though damage boosting Winston is fine, your Winston isn't in a range to do anything right now. Right?
It's in a bubble.
That's it, right? He's too far away. Hanzo is not too far away. This is perfect Hanzo range right here. So pocket him. You see the heal damage boost toggle as well? I'm not going to bring that up anymore because we've hammered it a million times, but do keep in mind that will be on our list of goals to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's so much worse than I thought.
Now, I even noticed this. Check this out. This is you paying attention. This fight's already lost, but watch this. You pocket your Hanzo, whatever, it's fine. But why do you pocket your Ana? She's full HP, basically. Why do you pocket your Ana?
She's kind of alone, and Doom is still there, so I was worried that she was going to get got.
Right. You look at the Doom. Look at the BAP window. She's way in. She is way in. Right now, she might pop off here, or she might die. Right? She might pop off, or she might die, and your pocket will be there. So sometimes you pocket people before they're even low, right? Just because this looks like something's about to happen, and you get on her quickly, and sure enough, she's under pressure. My problem is a little bit of overhealing. Nope, she's good. That was good. That was good. Yeah, so point taken there. Great recognition. Great recognition. I think the only thing there is I think you could have kept the beam on the Ana a little longer. I would Valk this, frankly. Your team's here. As soon as we're here, let's Valk this right now. Right?
Yeah.
Fight start, just go. Even now. Clean it up. Yes,
Oh.
great. Sure, let's do it. You're genius. That's good. That's really good. Pocketing the Winston, he's doing something. Oh, and by the way here, let the voices win. Do it. Do it.
Pistol.
Do it. Pistol. Seriously, pistol. Pistol. Look at the angle that you have. Look at the HP that your team is at. Do it. Look at the squishies too. Like I think with Mercy, a lot of the pistoling has to do more with the targets, right? Like right now, there's an isolated Baptiste or a Bastion that's low. Do it. Whip it out right now. Whip it out right now. Because remember, what makes Valk exceptional is that you have like the highest mobility of any support in the game. So that means that you can reach anybody. So like it's hard for your team to reach this guy. Not for you. Do it. Let the voices win. Yes, do it. But should have done it sooner. Should have done it sooner. This BAP should have been dead like 6 years ago. Okay. But yeah, great Valk. Great Valk. Good even pocket priority here. Like this is good. This is good. This is the right guy. This is it. Like right, like what, who on earth would you pocket besides this guy? Right? He's the only guy doing it.
He's in their spot.
Right. So as long as you don't risk your life to do this, and you don't need to because you got the verticality of the building here. No. Okay. Stay here. Right? Stay. Stay.
The sad no.
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think your movement, obviously, like a strong point. You're moving around. You're very proactive. So there's a lot, as it is with pretty much every Mercy I've coached, there's like a cornucopia of small things that add up, right? Like, and so far, what are some of those things? I'll list some of my thoughts, but I want to hear what yours are first.
I need to work on that tick. I need to really see what my beam is at, what I actually need to do. Instead of going for a res, even though it's like really fucking satisfying, I need to take a second to see if I could leave my team to do that res and they'll be okay. And if I'm in a dangerous spot, instead of worrying if I'm gonna die, like if there's a widow, look around to see if I can damage boost or help anyone else out.
Check flanks, constant awareness of teammates, and then also make sure to pocket engaged target.
Who's engaged?
Even if they're far away. Some snipers poke, not auto on tank. I'm just gonna dump some like really messy thoughts here, and then we'll clean them up once we finish our review, and we'll get some nice bullet points for you. So, okay, any questions so far?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Like right now. So let's look at this here. What do you think? Safe? Not safe? And
They weren't critical, but they were going in.
But you didn't look, is the problem.
Didn't. Yeah.
If you looked here, what you would have seen is, oh, I need to pocket my Genji. Now I can res. Even with my Winston jumping in, I think he's fine. I think he'll be okay for a second. Yeah, he'll be okay, right? But you needed to check your Genji, do a status check on your Genji for literally half a second, and then go for your backline. All right, go for the res. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't say you could rest. Feeling more powerful?
Nice use of your movement there. Obviously, like a really awkward spot for you to be, but I think you did a good job like managing it. Where's your torp?
Poor guy.
Yeah, it was good. It was good recognition of where he needed to be. Whee!
Keeping you on your toes.
This is fine. Like, you're on the right target, right? Like, I mean, this guy's definitely, like, he's in it.
He's doing it.
He is in it. I mean, look at his ult charge, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, in fact, I probably would have stayed on him just a little bit more, even before I needed to heal my team. Like, keep your, like, what you could do is, like, you know how it goes, right? Like, you keep a beam on to one target and your eyes on another, right? Just in case, but yeah. Obviously, double check.
Yeah.
Double check. You can turn around. Okay. Look, I mean, this looks okay to me. I think it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. And then frankly there, I would have been much faster to do what?
Not on my watch. My duty is being done.
Check for Winston.
No, actually. I think you needed to pocket your Torb.
Oh, because they're down there.
They're in it. And I know that the thought is like, but my Winston's crit. Yeah, but he's out.
He's in a little room.
I understand the logic is like, at some point I have to heal my Winston because he's going to have to do something eventually. But maybe there's a world where you just pocket your Torb to cover and then go for your Winston. Maybe there's a world where you could pocket your Torbjorn and let your Ana handle your Winston. Maybe you just let some of the passive heal kick in, right? Like, that's one of the nice things, right? Like, it's pretty decent for tanks now, right? Like, he will start to heal himself up pretty decently now. It's not great, but if you look at your Winston as well, he can't really do anything anyway now. Why? Because look at his bubble.
Oh, it's like 3 seconds up.
So I don't want you to overthink this, right? The only thing I would say is just be more willing to pocket people who are engaged and maybe let people who need a little bit of healing sit. By the way, does that sound familiar? Remember the Hanzo?
Yeah.
Remember the Genji and the Genji drop and the Winston's engaged, right? Something to consider. Remember, it's all about triage, right? Like, even though you've lost that burst heal that you used to have, that's the whole purpose, right? Is that your job is to prioritize who really, really needs your support. And again, that changes quickly with time. I want you to spot the mistake here.
He went in and I didn't heal him.
That's it. The Genji is totally fine, but then immediately need to pivot right now to Winston pocket, up and over. You got the angle for it, and instead you're going back on the Genji. No. You need to trust that your Ana can handle this. You need to trust that cover will do its work. This guy needs your help. Why? Because now if your Winston was full, maybe a different story. He ain't.
He's
not
good.
And that's it right there, right? He's literally jumping out. If you had given him literally 60, 70, 80 healing, I think he lives, sir. I think he lives. Good pocket. Risky, but I respect it. I respect it because it's the only way that you win this fight anyway. All right, it's the only way. So you might as well.
Oh.
Let the voices win. Let the voices win. Let the voices win. Do it. Do it. Do it.
No! I wonder if I do.
Instantly. Not a second wasted. I want you absolute maximum bloodthirst right now. Whip it right now and get in. Now, obviously, there's not a lot of great targets. Especially your BAP is okay, but it doesn't matter. You're nanoed. You're cooking. Let's go. Go. I think you could have gotten. I think you'd have gone more. I think it's okay because you did force 2 supportals, but I think initially there you could have been a little bit saucier with it. All right. Back to pocket priority. Who do you see?
Who's that? Poor Ana.
Poor Ana. That lamp never knew what hit it. You're the absolute best. They call you the destructible destroyer. It's not a lamp you've ever met that you couldn't shoot down. Beautiful, really. Brings a tear to my eye. Good. 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 And see, this is okay. So this is risky in terms of your life, but I want to compliment you on one thing. Why aren't you rezzing right now?
Because he's fighting.
Because he's in the middle of a fight, right? If you rezzed now, he probably dies. Okay, so what you do is you pocket this guy just a wee little bit. You see him disengage, and I wanna pretend that the reason that you went for the rest is because he overloaded.
Yes.
Okay? That's definitely why you did it, because you're like, oh, this guy's safe now, so now I'm gonna go in. That's such a. I'm with you on that one. That was brilliant strategy. Like, you were really thinking on 5-dimensional plane here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god!
It's really, really incredible, actually. But accidentally, genius. It's the right move. You did the right move. You found the brief downtime when people were safe to immediately get somebody up. That's good. It's actually incredible. You might be a prodigy.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Might be a prodigy. It's fine. Good.
Oh, this was rough.
It's alright. Acceptable or not acceptable?
I didn't look, so I don't know.
Okay. Basically,
The
we know your
cover's
Genji's,
fine.
we know your Genji's high. We know your Torbjorn's behind cart, so my gut instinct said this is fine. Says this is fine. You've got a tiny bit of downtime here, but you got to do it quick. Again, but I think what you said is like a really insightful way of looking at it, where it's like, I didn't look. It's fine, but it's by accident that it's fine. Right? It's not like this is a calculated decision.
It was 50-50.
Right, exactly. So it happened to be good, but we wanted to make that the ones that are good are on by design. Now the challenge is going to be you're going to have to think about these things, which is going to slow down the process. That's okay. It will get faster over time. But you did make the right decision. Okay, clean this up. Okay. Okay, we get. I want you to prioritize. Like, obviously, this sounds like really corny, but we've actually lost our beams so many times to people on high ground. So that might be something to look into. I'm sure Skiesti is somewhere out there screaming Mercy settings. There's something to do here. Like we're being able to like Mercy through like GA through corner. I don't know what the freaking setting is. I'm not gonna lie with you. Here's what settings I have. The only setting that I know that I die in the hill is, where are we here? It's crud. It's prefer facing target with Guardian Angel target priority. Basically, it allows you to like pocket things without looking at them. But if you ever do put your crosshair on a person, you GA to them instead. You know what I'm saying?
I'm ready. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Do you understand the setting I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, so it's like I can still beam someone and look around,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if I'm looking at someone that needs help, I can also.
Exactly. It's really helpful when you're pocketing like any sort of flyer or anything that where you could just like what it does is it allows you to. Here, I'll show you. I don't know why I'm like just yapping for like 6 years, and I could literally yap for 1 year in the practice range. Basically, what it is.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind.
It was more important back in the day when Pharah was like more prevalent, like the actual flying in the sky. But what it does is like I could beam this person, and I'm like, oh, look at that, I'm the greatest. Look at that. You know, I only have to I can only have to look at them, right? Look at that. Woo, you know, right? So it just allows you to GA. Now the reason why I didn't like that just always on is because like let's say I'm like pocketing this person, but I want to fly here. I'd have to release my beam and then GA. Okay. But what I could do with prefer beam facing target is I could GA to them if I'm looking off. But as soon as I get the little box here on the target, right, then I could prioritize and GAing them. You see that?
Show me one more time.
So I can GA to the person I'm beaming, even if I'm not looking at them. But if I put my crosshair on somebody, I GA to them instead.
Okay.
Whereas the other option is either you always GA to the person you're beaming. Even if I'm looking at somebody, I always just GA this way. Or I can't GA to anybody that I'm not looking at. So like I wouldn't be able to do this.
I think I don't have.
Yeah, I will highly recommend this setting for Mercy. Highly. This is like a huge quality of life change that they introduced. This setting did not exist in Overwatch 2. And it sucked. But yeah, this is the way to go.
Got it.
Now I can enjoy my beautiful super jump here. Check this out already. Okay, we're gonna call that there.
You know, I was noticing that they were full health and you were healing them. Just saying.
Okay, all right. Listen. I'm demonstrating what not to do. Okay. It's what not to do. You know.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Well, okay. Well. Actually, I have a perfect Mercy play when I want to. It's just more along the lines of like I think it'd be more educational for you if I just screwed up a lot. You wouldn't get it. You're kind of like small brain kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No. Yeah,
Okay.
It's okay. Well, okay. Let's say not a small brain, but just a small brain in comparison to me. You know. My mom
remember that.
My mom says I'm like the smartest person that she knows. So, but yeah, obviously like here it's like. Ugh. Oh, okay. So I remember what I was thinking about. If you have, I think if you have the setting here, prefer beam facing target. Because, maybe I'm actually might be just actually like cooking here. I might be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the case, like 90% certain. If you have this setting enabled, you can actually GA to people through walls because it will G8. Your beam's still connected, right? The grace period, right? The beam's still connected, right? So you could still GA to them even if you don't see the little rectangle thing. You see it?
Yeah.
Because
this is something I have
because your
with.
beam's still connected. Wait.
We gotta test this, guys.
We gotta test
Experiment.
this because this is huge. Because this is like 2 times in a row. This has really screwed up your positioning. But if you fix this, now you can like break beam with people and still be able to GA to them.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind you.
Okay.
There's a guy flying on like a cart above you that you can test it.
That's true, actually. That's true. But I think this might be even easier. Check this out.
Oh.
So I can't. So do you see how the triangle stays even when I break LOS until the beam breaks
Yeah.
LOS? You see that? So you see that? That's what we want. That's what we want.
Hallelujah.
Whereas I think you probably have facing target only would be my guess. So watch the beam. Triangle's gone. You see that?
Yeah.
So I'm here. Triangle's gone. You see that? So I would bet at least $5 that you have that setting on. In fact, you should check it. Do you have it? Have you checked it?
Let's see.
I don't know if you've changed it or not. Maybe you're just bad. Like we can't rule that one out.
Facing target only.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Turn to prefer facing target, and then now you have the best of both worlds.
Facing target.
Now you have the best of both worlds. So now you can literally GA people through walls as long as you have the beam connected. All right, problem solved. Because I was sitting here like, what is going on? Like, why can we not get high ground? Problem
Your
solved.
mama was correct.
Ah, I knew it. She also said I was a failure, so I think it was the only time that she was correct, surely. Okay, let's
Insert the Mario movie clip.
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Oh, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
King Kong. Not King Kong. Donkey Kong, basically.
King
Mario's
Kong,
like,
holy crap.
my parents think me I'm a failure. And Donkey Kong goes, well, they're right!
Oh man, that's rough.
So.
That's not very nice.
King
Of That's not
Kong,
very nice of
guys.
King Kong. That's really mean of
Don't
King
talk-
Kong. I mean, to be fair, he did smash a bunch of buildings, so I can understand. Okay, this Valk surely gonna be legendary. Remember the rule: fight starts, we Valk. By we, I mean you. I take no responsibility. Sure. I mean, honestly, fine. You could probably predict a downtime. However, you didn't check.
Nope.
You didn't check. And
So I don't know what's
in
going on.
And in hindsight here,
Oh.
if you pocket this Genji, he lives. And then we res Winston when we get a chance. You done did it. But the Valk itself is fine. And then also ending on high ground, beautiful. And the pocket priority, also fine, right? Because stuff's happening, right? Now you could go, oh, I should have pocketed Torp, maybe, yeah, but this guy's fine too. Good stuff.
Let's go.
And then swapping to the Torp, very good. No, you broke it. Immediate regret.
You sure about that compliment, dude?
Yeah, immediately take it back. See, I always get punished. This is what happens when I compliment people. They just fall to pieces. I mean, this is all fine. Your positioning is fine. The pocket priority, you screwed up. It's the pocket priority, and it's two things, right? One was that you don't check before you go for a res, right? And the other one is that you tend to slightly prioritize tanks just by the nature of them being tanks, and that kills your Torp, right? So, okay, so let's, yeah, exactly. Donkey Kong. Wait, King Kong. No, that's not my bad. See, now I'm mixed up the opposite. I meant to say King Kong, I said Donkey Kong. You're screwing me over, bro. This sucks. Okay.
I'm in your mind.
Apparently. And again, this is great. I look at this, and yeah, obviously, like your Winston Gidgey have like decent positions, but they're not really doing anything right now. So ironically, pocketing the person besides the turret that's furthest away from the fight is the right move, because look at the angle he has, right? Like this is perfect. He's gonna do damage from here, right?
It's faster, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean it's poke, right? It's poke, and like this poke is meaningless. So why would you do this when you could pocket this guy? Okay, I spoke too soon. This is like the
You're not allowed to compliment my gameplay.
This is Caster Curse gameplay, man. I'm gonna tell you what. But you know what? You get partial credit for being there, and then now obviously you get full credit because again, this is the right move, and you're about to super jump, right? So this is okay. You just hit your head in the wall. Never mind.
Bro's actually cursed the
This is the worst, man. I literally can't say anything right now. I mean, it's not a whole lot you could have done there, and that's what I like to call a death by 1,000 paper cuts. Okay, where it's like. With Mercy, it's always like those little things that add up to where it's actually an unwinnable fight. Like the thing with like when you're coaching an Ana or a Brit, not even really a Brig maybe. Let's just say Ana, okay? You can make a lot of mistakes because there's a lot of things that you can do, right? If you mess up a shot there, mess up a sleep dart there, you got a nade, you got a couple of shots. Like you'll need to clutch, but you can clutch. With Mercy, it's like there are clutch situations with like Valk and Rez and so on, but a lot of what it is like you make like all these like thousands and hundreds, like literally hundreds and thousands of small decisions in each game that add up to small advantages. You load the dice for your team. Right? And the problem is that you look at this fight and you're like, would this have been won if I had stayed pocket on Torb? Would this have been won if I had maintained high ground pressure instead of clonking my head in the plane? I don't know, but it would have increased our chances.
Yeah.
You know? And then there's also a couple of times where you can actually point and be like, yeah, you were the problem. You failed to pocket your Genji Nanoblade because you didn't look for res. That fight alone that decision cost you the fight, right? So I think it's like, even in fights where you don't feel super impactful, you might be right. Like you might have literally put like the world's best Mercy and you still would have lost. But at the very least, it's an opportunity for you to practice, right? So even in lost fights, you still practice. Even in lost games, you still practice. Games with a thrower, you still practice. Games where you have like, a Torb one trick on, Circuit Royale, you still practice. Okay, your Genji's just like straight up like rage toggling here.
Yeah.
Like what did this guy just do? Like this guy literally just was like, all right, that's it, toggling on.
Bro locked in. Yeah,
What?
fuck that soldier. Fuck that soldier.
What? Hello?
Look, it kind of fucking went crazy.
Seriously, like what just happened here?
How did he know that guy was there?
I don't know, man. Good. Okay, let's keep going here. I'm thinking maybe one more fight, two more fights to look at. That work for you?
Yes.
All right, then we'll take some juicy notes here. Actually, let me check. Okay, the guy I'm supposed to be replay reviewing still has not written me back. So
How could he?
can run a few more. Okay, good. I like the positioning here. I like the Valk. Again, I think your Valks might be your strongest point. I really do. Your
Whoa!
Valks are really good. Like they're all, I think without exception, they've been well timed. Like right as combat starts, you're not waiting for too long. You're not greeting it. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, press play. Let's see if you. Okay.
I didn't. It's impossible to cast a Curse of Valk because once you press Q, that's the decision I'm complimenting, right? Like you can't undo the Valk. So
That'd be crazy.
surely, right? I watch you just find a way. Okay.
We break the game.
Pocket the torp. See, this is what's happening. This is okay. This is what I call mercy brain rot. Okay. Where it's like, oh, Genji's popped off. I need to pocket the carry. No. Look at where Genji is. Look at where Torbjorn is. Pocket the Torb. I don't care if this guy's bronze. If he's
Torb's in the
bronze,
trenches
the
right now.
bronze Torb is doing something that this top 500 Genji isn't. Now, if they start fighting and you have to choose, then yeah, sure, you could go with the carry or whoever you think is going to hit. I don't give a frick, But like right now, get the Torb. I would rather pocket Ana right now than Genji. I mean, really. Like Ana is going to hit some shots here. This guy's like, look at this guy. He's literally just ornamental.
waiting.
Look at this guy. What's your problem, dude? Like he's literally doing nothing. And look at your Torb. Mercy brain rot. Oh my gosh, this guy is just talking. Look at this guy. This guy's
Maybe
literally
I'm
just
just
talking.
sizes. Maybe I just don't like short people.
Okay, that cuts a little too close to home here.
No, I'm short too. Oh God.
Technically, average height is not short. Okay,
Oh.
deserved. That's what you get for the short people comment. Actually, you know what?
What's going
I'm
on
not,
in my room, guys?
I'm not short. I'm not short.
That was
You
just
should.
rough.
Yeah. You should have slingshot. Because it's like, like you go up and it's like, well, this thing goes pretty. So can you super jump? Can you super jump over this? I don't
Watch
know.
me.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Too bad you can't res yourself. Okay, let's watch one more fight. Good. Torb. Needs to be Torb. Needs to be Torb at this range, and then obviously pivot to Genji when you need to. But yeah, this is all good.
Past me heard you.
Yeah, apparently. Hindsight coaching works. You heard it here, folks. Good. Frick.
Yeah, that's scary.
Good. Suffering. Almost. Yeah, I think this fight was been much cleaner from you in movement in terms of like rotation. That probably needed to be a super jump. I think you had enough charge to make it work. Maybe. I'm not sure. But probably you needed to at least aim for the super jump there, right? Because if you don't get balcony here, I think you're in serious trouble. Because the other thing, okay, so this is why positioning is so important. It's not just about your life. It's because when you're under a lot of pressure, it's really hard to make good beam decisions. Like right now, you could have been faster on the Ana, or you could have been a better management of like maybe you just let your Ana die and trade backlines with Genji. But you can't make those decisions because you're under so much pressure right now. Whereas if you'd been doing this from here, I think it could have been a lot easier to be calm and make the right decisions, right?
Yeah.
That's why like verticality matters, is because it's not just about keeping yourself alive. It's about making it easy to make the right decisions. Because remember when you messed up your beam stuff on first point, right? Why? Because you were stressed, and rightfully so. So when you're stressed, you're not you when you're hungry. You're not you when you're stressed. So we need to kind of chill things out. Okay, let's take some notes here. Let's take some notes. Mercy. So I'm gonna just kind of leave that stuff there, so you can see my unhinged schizophrenic ramblings. But let's clean up the notes here, so that it's a little bit more actionable, a little bit more clear about what you need to do. So give me the points. What's the number one priority for you to practice in game that comes to mind? There's a lot of things that come to mind, but I want to know which one speaks to you the most.
The one that speaks to me the most, at least, is, well, the ADHD thing, of course. But I need to stop leaving people who are in a fight just to go heal someone else. That's not
right.
I feel like
prioritize on pocketing the target engaged, not just healing people back to full. Okay to leave people if someone is needing pocket. Like Mercy is the pocket support. She's the best in the game, right? So you don't pocket people doing nothing, right? Okay. What else?
Another big one for me is take a second before a res and look around to see if it's something I can do. If I can waste a second.
Take a second before a res to see if downtime for res, not just about your life, but people you won't be supporting. Okay, what else?
I guess I still have, like, another big one for me, at least, might be the... Wouldn't you call me a nerd? When did that happen?
Huh? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
When did that happen? Anyway, that distracted me. What was I thinking?
I don't know. Things to practice on. Talking about
Should reset.
ADHD, B maybe? Toggling.
Instead of focusing just on big targets, see who's actually...
Don't just focus on big targets.
See who's in.
Engage.
See who's fighting.
See who's in? Yep.
See who's in.
Good stuff. Prioritizing high ground. Cover with reses. Valk usage. Prioritizing high ground, let's be specific with our compliments too. I think you did a really good job of, like, whenever there was high ground available, using the high ground, not just for the sake of high ground, but so that you could see a lot of crap. Like, you could see everything that was going on, so you could make good decisions. And it's not an accident that your beam management immediately improved when your positioning improved, right? Now, sometimes you would still prioritize in healing people who were kind of falling back out of the fight, but overall it was a lot better. I think your reses, when it came to cover, were pretty good. Like there were not a lot of dumb, this person's like clearly in a bad spot to res, let's go for it. No, it's really, really, really good. And then your Valk usage is also fight starting, bam, Valk. No hesitation, not waiting to counter an ultimate, not waiting until somebody dies and then trying to after the words res him. You just used it. And it was great. I have literally zero critiques with your Valkyrie, except for the fact that maybe you could be a little bit faster to pistol isolated targets if you're in a position to do so. But honestly, besides that, your Valks are great.
Let's go.
Yeah, no critiques of your Valks. Okay, do you have any questions?
How do you do it while talking? That's crazy.
How do I do?
Bro was hovering over the nerd. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it twice in a row because it said you sent the same message in 30 seconds, so I had to wait 30 seconds and then do it again. So I'm gonna do it one more. I've got to cash out my channel points here, so like I got 280 more to spend here. So
I do not have any notes.
Okay.
No
notes,
my bee is called Fizzy.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I think what I would do is I would go into game and I just pick one of these to work on. It's really however you want to practice things. For me, I generally like to practice like 2 or 3 things per week, and then try to mix them up like to keep things interesting. Because technically, it might be the most productive way to focus on just like ADHD beam for like a whole day, really give it your full attention. And then, do that for a couple of days a week for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then you make significant improvement at that. But it can be a little boring to focus on something for an entire day. So if something's boring, you're not going to be giving it good focus. If you're not giving it good focus, you're not going to really break bad habits. So what I would do is just mix it up however you feel like it. And I would also be honest with yourself. If you're streaming for 5 hours, you're not going to be practicing for 5 hours. So what I would do is I'd say like the first hour and a half of your stream is where you're practicing these things. And then the rest of your stream, you're just chilling. You're just playing. Don't think about anything. That would be my recommendation.
Don't practice in comp either.
Oh, no, definitely practicing comp. Definitely practicing comp. Because that's the pressure, right? There's and like think about what you're practicing, right? We're not like limit testing anything new here. This is just good habits that you need to be bringing into comp. Where's the best place to practice them? In comp. I know you're good. I know there's SR on the line here.
Nerve-wracking.
But there's SR on the line, but this is something that you're going to have to learn to over time get more comfortable with.
That's true.
It's going to have to happen.
Get over yourself.
Get over yourself, right? You suck. And let me emphasize that point with one more nerd emoji. There we go. Bam. That's right. Listen, I tried to compliment you once, and I just coach cursed you over and over and over again. So now I'm gonna do the opposite.
I feel like that's the replay's fault. That's not me.
That's
right
true.
here.
That's true.
I'm not doing that.
That's true. That was the old Cherry B. That
was the old me. I've changed.
They suck. Yeah. They definitely changed. Okay. No questions. All right. Lots of good things to look at. I think you did good. You did lots of good stuff. Good. Hope the setting, but the setting might take a little bit of tweak to work with, but I think you'll like it.